I'm from Indiana, but I'm a Red Sox fan.
And I'm from Minnesota, but I'm a Yankees fan.
And welcome to the Rivalry out of state, our MLB series here on the Running the Table podcast, where we cover everything in the world of baseball. I'm Drew Westland alongside with me, Andrew Sinicariello. And I think it's about time for this series to start living up to its name because the 3-game series, Red Sox Yankees, has just concluded with the Yankees taking the series at home in the Bronx, winning 2-1. And we are going to recap that series for you because it's a pretty good series. Some back and forth games, a lot of close games. No wins were easy for either team, and it was a good one. So, Andrew, are you ready to go?
Let's run it.
Let's do it. So, the Red Sox avoid the sweep. The Yankees get 2 of 3 at home to open the season at 2-1. The Red Sox at 1-2. And the first game was an 11-inning thriller where the Yankees took it in extras 6-5 in the opener. The second game, the Yankees won that one 4-2. And the finale, the Red Sox take it 4-3. So let's recap that first game, where it was Nathan Eovaldi and Garrett Cole, the two aces of the squads, squaring off. And in this game, the Cole train got knocked around early, where they put 3 on Garrett Cole, but then the Yankees stormed right back against Nathan Eovaldi, tying the game up within 4 innings. Alex Verdugo put the game ahead with an RBI single in the top of the 6th, and in the bottom of the 8th, DJ LeMahieu tied it up at 4. And then in extras, the ghost runner allowed for runs aplenty, both teams answering with that 1 run in the 10th. And then in the 11th, where the Red Sox failed to score, Josh Donaldson in his Yankees debut hits an RBI single up the middle for a walk-off. So, Andrew,
welcome to New York.
Welcome to New York, Josh Donaldson. In that game, Michael King got the win and Cutter Crawford got the loss.
So, yeah, watching the beginning of the game, oh, man, it was a rough start for Garrett Cole. I was thinking, oh, no, is it going to be one of these starts? But, hey, he struggled in the top first, but he seemed to figure it out afterwards. I mean, he shut out the side the next 3 innings he pitched. So I think he just had a little bit of, I don't know, the adrenaline of beginning the season.
Yeah.
And then,
so for Garrett Cole, the thing about that was maybe there was something with the first pitch taking a few extra minutes because Garrett Cole was amped up. He was ready to go. So I've heard that is kind of like why that first inning kind of blew up in his face, because Rafael Devers' first swing of the season takes him deep to right field, and then JD Martinez piles on with an RBI double. So a rough inning for Garrett Cole, but he generally turned it around. Cole only lasted 4 innings, giving up 4 hits, the 3 earned runs. He struck out 3 and he walked 1 and gave up the home run to Devers. So it wasn't really the Garrett Cole-esque kind of outing that we were used to. But like once he sort of figured it out, he rode the rest of the way pretty clean.
And got to give credit to the Yankees offense for getting them back at the game. Rizzo right away responded with that 2-run shot. And then Stanton, obviously, in the bottom 4th, tying it up. And by that point, Garrett Cole was relieved by Chad Green, who...
Yeah, that was really interesting to see. Like, especially in this first game, because with the extra 28-man roster, Boone and Cora threw everything but the kitchen sink in terms of bullpen. A lot of guys were used in odd roles that they weren't used to. Like you saw Chad Green in the 5th. Eovaldi, after 5 strong, was relieved by Garrett Whitlock for 2 1/3. And then the Yankees bullpen really, really held strong, in my opinion, because after Clay Holmes, who only gave up 1 earned run, that was the RBI single by Alex Verdugo. Then the Yankees really locked it down. Even in a tie game, you saw Aroldis Chapman in the 9th, where he struck out 2. And then I want to talk about the performance of Michael King. Since when does Michael King make the Red Sox lineup look silly? King,
yeah, that was a surprise star of the game for me. Besides
2 scoreless,
the RBI,
3 strikeouts, a walk, and he only allowed 1 hit and managed to pick up the win. So
right.
It was a pretty solid outing for Michael King and a very well-deserved win. And I think both bullpens did particularly well. I mean, the Red Sox had 2 attempts in the 10th and the 11th to kind of close the door and shut it down, but it's pretty difficult when you have the tying run 90 feet. And Cutter Crawford, who took the loss in this game, only faced Josh Donaldson. That was the only batter. And that little bloop single up the middle that got through both Story and Bogarts allowed the runner to race home and win the game. So I don't know. Your thoughts about the ghost runner? I know you don't like it.
I stand by it. I still don't like it, even though we won from it. I'm still not a fan of the rule. I guess the one defense I could say is if it stretches on to like the 12th or 13th, maybe you could add it on there if you want to speed up the games. But I think the 10th and 11th, it should just be clear on base, just play it like the normal game.
Right, because those runners are hard to come by. But I mean, hey, who knows? It allowed runs to score for the 10th and the 11th inning on both sides. And it ultimately was part of the main reason why the Yankees won the game. So I can see some positives from it, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess one more thing I want to talk about this game. I don't know if you heard this, but I was hearing this yesterday. If DJ LeMahieu didn't hit the home run in the bottom eighth, Alex Cora was planning on having Whitlock stay the rest of the game.
Yeah, that makes sense because Whitlock was dealing at the time, and he had 4 strikeouts. He had only given up 1 hit up to that point. The home run was the other hit that he had given up. Whitlock was dealing, and you stay with the hot hand. And Whitlock, in a lot of situations, when Matt Barnes struggled last year, he really emerged as that closer. So I would have, been totally a fan of it if that homer had not happened, of sticking with Whitlock. And then the Red Sox bullpen after that was kind of, a disaster where you got Matt Strahm all over the place. Jake Diekman can't find the strike zone. He hits a batter. Ryan Brazier, he always gives me heart attacks. He blew the game. And then Cutter Crawford, that was just, a bad hand that he was dealt. But now let's move on to the second game, which was a lower scoring affair. The Yankees took that one 4-2. The matchup, Pivetta and Severino. Luis Severino, who, didn't really have that much work last year. He was mainly coming out of the bullpen, made his first start in a long, long time, went 3 innings. He only allowed the 2 earned runs, but that 2 earned runs came off of a 2-run homer by Alex Verdugo in the top of the second. And that lasted for about 2 more innings as a pair of Yankee homers, Anthony Rizzo and Giancarlo Stanton, both with 2-run blasts, cracked the game open. And then the Yankee bullpen came in and just shut it down the rest of the way. I don't know. Anthony Rizzo and Giancarlo Stanton, those are names that we're going to mention often in this series because it always seemed like those 2 guys put the bat on the ball and found the green grass and just managed to get the job done for the Yankees.
Yeah, absolutely. So far in this series, Rizzo's making me retract my statement saying why sign him when Freddie Freeman's still out there, because he has been amazing so far this season. I mean, he hit a 2-run home run in game 1. He hit another 2-run home run in game 2, bringing the Yankees back into it. And then if Stanton did the exact same thing, hit a home run in game 1, then hit a home run in game 2.
I
And he
blame the
blasted that
architecture of
one as
Yankee
well.
Stadium. That short porch in right field is a cheat code.
Hey, Stanton's was legit. That was 437.
Okay, but that first one in game 1, that ball didn't get higher.
Oh yeah, that was a line drive. That was awesome.
That was stupid. But
yeah,
anyway,
another thing I'd like to talk about is Ron Marinaccio making his MLB debut.
I was just gonna say that. Well, because of the expanded rosters, both the Red Sox and the Yankees are carrying like 15 pitchers or something like that, like a crazy amount. So now you get guys that you've never heard of making appearances, like Ron Marinaccio, who came in after Severino in the 4th and had a really solid inning.
Yeah, great story for him too. He's from Toms River, New Jersey, grew up a Yankees fan, so it was awesome to see him in the pinstripes. Kind of struggled at first. He gave up a walk right away, but then he was super good after that. 2 strikeouts and retired the side. So great debut by Ron Marinaccio.
Well, where Marinaccio, started, the rest of the Yankee bullpen picked suit. Like, it was just one after the other. You go right down the line from innings 4 through 9. Ron Marinaccio, Miguel Castro, Lucas Luque, Chad Green, Clay Holmes, and Aroldis Chapman, all with scoreless innings. And Chapman earns the save. I know you don't like Chapman, but when he is on, he is really, really good with that
Right.
fastball slider splitter combination, which I think Aroldis Chapman's splitter is really slept on because he throws it at about 90, 91 miles an hour. It's crazy. So I'm going to give credit to that Yankee bullpen in game, both in game one and game two, for when the Red Sox, they beat up the starter a little bit, but then the Yankee bullpen came in and just kind of cut it right off. So
Yeah, our relieving's been impressive so far. And you were talking about Chapman. The problem with Chapman for me is you don't know what version of Chapman you're going to get. You could get the lockdown Chapman who strikes out everybody, throws those 105-mile-an-hour fastballs, or you could get the blown safe Chapman, which you just never know which one you're going to get. And we got the good Chapman on Saturday.
yeah, that's fair. Aroldis Chapman is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But the Yankees, a well fought, earned victory in game two. They went for the sweep in game three, but the Red Sox put a halt to that, winning that one 4-3. The matchup there, Tanner Houck and Jordan Montgomery. The Red Sox, per usual, got on the board first, getting after Montgomery after Monty was nailed in the leg by a 103-mile-an-hour ground ball off the bat of Xander Bogaerts, which not only allowed the runners to get in scoring position, Monty was nailed. And you got to tip your cap for him for staying in the game and throwing 3 1/3 innings, even though, he struggled in the first. He gave up 2, but then he went right back to work. And, Monty's an interesting pitcher with the way he attacks hitters, 5 pitches that he all throws evenly. And, for the conditions, a cold day, a ball going off that plant leg, he did fine. I'll tip my cap to Monty.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he was able to pitch again right after he got nailed, I thought he was out for sure. He was limping, but then he's like, you know what? He just got up and then just started warming up on the mound again. So, got to give credit to him for that.
Just
But I
started trucking
do,
it out. But, it's towards the
yeah,
rest of the game.
I do have to wonder
Hmm.
if that didn't happen, if he would have pitched longer than 3 1/3.
He
I think
probably
that
would
would have
have. He probably
definitely
definitely
changed the
would have. That
outcome.
got the minds going for Aaron Boone. Like, hey, how long can this guy go? And Montgomery, for the innings that he pitched, he did well. I mean, he gave up 3, but the Yankees, they battled right back in the bottom of the third. Giancarlo
I
Stanton,
guess
another
who?
RBI base hit. Yeah, guess who? The Yankee killer. In the bottom of the fourth, Anthony Rizzo with a 2 RBI single made it 3-3. But then the game was broken open by Bobby Dahlbeck, whose solo homer in the top of the sixth put it away and put the game out of reach. It was the bullpen made me nervous in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, but that's all right. With Matt Strahm, Hansel Robles, and Jake Diekman coming in for the save and converting because Matt Barnes was unavailable with a bad back. So he really stepped up. Diekman did when they needed him to. And yeah, the Yankee bullpen, they did a good job of shutting it down after Bobby Dahlbeck's solo homer, but the offense just kind of fell flat.
Right. Yeah, they did a good job shutting them down after that. The main problem that we had in this game was leaving runners on base. It happened in the bottom first, too, before he started chipping in. Gleyber Torres left the bases loaded. And then in the 7th, Aaron Hicks left 2 runners in scoring position. And that's just unacceptable. We got to take advantage of those moments and score the runs that we need to.
I totally agree. The Yankees seem to have runners on base early on in the game. They really got to Tanner Houck. Houck threw 3 1/3. He gave up 6 hits and he walked 9 base runners that were on. And he's lucky to only escape with 3 runs in that 3 1/3. So Houck, his stuff was okay. He didn't do great. He didn't do poorly either. But the Yankees, they seemed like they were on base throughout the game, just all game. And you look at the usual suspects. Anthony Rizzo went 1 for 3 with 2 RBI. He had 2 homers and 6 RBI in the series, a pair in every single game. Aaron Judge with a pair of hits, even though he struck out twice, he had a productive day. And Giancarlo Stanton, he is the Red Sox killer, had 3 hits in game 3. He was hitting .385 so far in the series with 2 dingers. You couldn't keep Giancarlo Stanton. And it seemed like everything that Stanton hit he hit hard. He hit right on the screws. Like the exit velocity was up over 110. It seemed crazy where it was like, you can't get this guy out. And he definitely was a key cog in the Yankees offense.
I couldn't agree anymore. Production Giancarlo Stanton's had this series is something that we hope to continue as we move forward in the season. Same thing with Anthony Rizzo, too. He's definitely out there trying to prove that we got the right first baseman this offseason. And so far, he's doing the job.
Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, on Boston's side, in this particular game, every single guy chipped in with a hit. Nobody had a multi-hit game. Bobby Dahlbeck, his homer was huge to break the game, to break the tie. Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, they had a base knock each. JD Martinez, his double in the first, that was pretty key to jumping out early. Even Jonathan Arauz had a RBI sac fly. And, you know, for as much as we talk about Giancarlo Stanton, how he reaches base all the time, Alex Verdugo had himself such a series. He had a homer in game 2, and he's hitting 455, even though he hit towards the bottom of the order in game 3, game 2, like all series. He was absolutely dangerous. It seems like Alex Verdugo has really figured it out, and he has been on fire. And without him, the Red Sox don't win that game.
Right. Also want to talk about Rafael Devers. He's clearly your guy's best hitter. He's just always a threat. It seemed like him and Verdugo were the equivalent to Stanton and Rizzo for you guys in this series.
Yeah,
like
both
they'd
of
be
them.
the guys that we'd fear to pitch against.
Both of them were really huge. Rafael Devers, obviously, Garrett Cole is his son. I think it's now time to declare that, because Devers has 4 homers off of Garrett Cole, where nobody else in the last couple of years has 2.
It's a
Devers
little early. Let's let the season roll a bit.
I don't know. Rafael Devers has certainly put on a show against the Cole train. Stop them dead in their
still won the
tracks.
series, so
That's true. You guys did win the series. Boston, it just seems like we need to make a few more adjustments. We're right there with the Yankees, but whether it's like the bullpen not really showing up and kind of falling flat, or the hitting kind of fizzling out in the later innings, I think we'll be fine. Like you said, it's a long season. There will be more Red Sox baseball and Yankees baseball to play, but the Yankees take the first series 2-1. So you guys have that upper leg on us as we go into the season. The next series, the Boston Red Sox travel to the Detroit Tigers and have a 3-game series there. The New York Yankees, they stay at home and face the vaunted Toronto Blue Jays for 4 games. So we'll see how those series play out. But you got anything else for this series, Andrew?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. I guess my message to the Yankees is no time for us. We got to keep chipping in. I mean, Blue Jays are no easy team to play against. So, yeah, got to be right up there once again.
Yeah, and I think the message for the Red Sox is, a few bumps in the road. It's a long, long season. Let's just keep it going, win more games than we lose. The Red Sox are a good team. We'll be fine. But that's all we got for this episode of the Rivalry Out of State, where we covered the first series between the Red Sox and Yankees. There will be much more baseball to play, and we will be covering all of it throughout the season. We can't wait to cover it here for you. So if you want to watch our other stuff on YouTube, we did AL, NL, and awards predictions, culminating in who we think is going to win the World Series. So you can go check that out. And you can also find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and wherever else podcasts are found. But until next time, we out. Go Red Sox. Yankees suck.
We won the series.